Hey everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how I passed the JNCIA Junos by Juniper in around a month and a half. My background is that I already have the CCNA, Net Plus, bunch of certs, bachelor's degree in network engineering and security, full-time job in network engineering, so pretty good at the basics of routing and switching. Uh, If you're thinking that the JNCIA Junos is comparable in difficulty to the CCNA, don't worry. It's way, way, way easier. If I didn't have a full-time job, I would have passed this thing in like 2 weeks. Anyway, so this is my score report just to prove that I passed. I got an 83 out of 100. Got 100 in a few categories. I got a 50 in configuration basics. That's not good. But otherwise, yeah, I think I did okay on the exam. It's very easy, and I used 4 main resources for it. First one was Quizlet because you kind of need to memorize a few commands, like 5 to 10. Honestly, you need to memorize 5 to 10 commands and understand the hierarchy of reading a Junos configuration for the most part, and route preference values, so administrative distance for the Cisco people. Anyway, I use Quizlet because that's my flashcard software of choice. If you like Anki, that works as well. Number 2, I use CBT Nuggets because there are really no courses for the Junos. The CBT Nuggets course is not that great. It's very old. It's very boring. It has no labs, but it does explain the basic concepts correctly. Now, if you're going into this with no networking experience at all, would highly recommend the I&E course. It is much longer. It's around 93 hours, and it doesn't need to be because you'll get a lot more information than you need. But if you are starting from scratch, the basics of networking, this will get you up to speed. It also has labs, which is a big bonus. So if you are willing to pay the money for I&E, would recommend this option if you do not have this previous experience. There is a JNCIA Junos course on Udemy. I think there's literally only one, honestly. It has a bunch of 5-star reviews, so you should be able to filter that out pretty quickly. It has a great practice test that I would highly recommend. It is similar to the actual exam questions. And number 3 is an EVE-NG lab. Just as with any other vendor's networking certification, you need a lab for this one, just to make sure you're familiar with commands, Junos, hierarchies, models of switches, stuff like that. It's, you need a lab. CBT Nuggets doesn't come with a lab. If you do have the ability to set this up on your computer, you could dual boot with Windows and Linux and then put this on. The Juniper images are free, so you can get vJunos router and vJunos switch straight from Juniper as long as you create a free account. Otherwise, you can use the labs in I&E, but those will really be your only lab options. Number 4 is Juniper Open Learning. I would highly recommend doing this last after you're ready to take the test. So what you want to do is you want to search Juniper Open Learning in Google. It's going to take you to this page, right? JNCIA. You're going to click on this course, Junos Associate. And since you should already know everything, you're just going to skip through each lesson to the multiple choice questions. They're good practice. You're going to take the practice exam in the end. It's very, 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 very similar to the real exam. You're going to pass that, and it's going to make the exam only $50 because the JNCIA Junos is not worth $200. It is way too easy. Nobody should be spending $200 on this. So make sure you do this course, pass that test. They give you a code. So when you schedule your exam in Pearson VUE, it just makes it $50. There is one more free practice exam that you can use besides the one in the course, the one in Udemy. There is one for free on Juniper's website that is, again, very, very, very similar to the level of difficulty of the exam. And then you take your exam and hopefully you pass. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments. If you really want this certification, you should get it. But if you're trying to decide between this and the CCNA every day, 100%, these two are not comparable. I would say Network Plus is harder than this one, if you can believe it. So yeah. Thanks for watching.